What if there was one thing that you could do today that could pay you back every single day forever? Is that something you would want to learn more about? If so, you're going to love this episode where we talk about, honestly, the one thing that I wish in my business I had started a little bit sooner, and it is to create forever content. So forever impacts forever, it pays forever, and it lasts pretty much forever, which is really, really cool. And I'm going to show you, we're going to talk a little bit about what forever content is, why it matters so much, and how you can run ads to it, or really honestly, why you should run ads to it to guarantee that this content truly does pay back forever. So it's going to be a really good episode. Now, before we jump in, I want to invite you to the Win with Paid Ads Challenge if you have not already. It is a 5-day live training, and there's no place, no world in which you get 5 days of back-to-back ads coaching at this level. So the last Win with Paid Ads Challenge, both of our VIP rooms filled out. In fact, the first one filled up so quickly, we created another one, and then that one sold out too. So you getting live coaching every single day from an ads expert, and if you've listened to the previous episode, from someone who has mastered paid advertising, like Rory McIlroy has mastered the game of golf. I have mastered the game of paid advertising, and you can win that game when you join the Win with Paid Ads Challenge. So click the link below this YouTube video or podcast, and I cannot wait to meet you and see you live in the challenge. Now let's jump into forever content. So forever content is content that lasts forever. And what I mean by that is YouTube videos and podcast episodes. Those are the two in particular that I'm referring to. And the reason that I love forever content is because forever content is compressor content. Okay? Forever content is compressor content. What is a compressor? Well, I actually looked this up because you've heard of a compressor before, right? So a compressor is a device that increases the pressure of gas by reducing its volume. So it increases the pressure, reduces the volume. So if you look up pressure is a continual force exerted on an object. So here's what this means for you. What if you were able to create something that compresses? So compress means to squeeze, to make it more compact. What if in a compact amount of time, people could experience you and what you have to offer and why you are the best at what you do, and it compresses time for them to build that relationship with you, and it creates this pressure or this intensity to work with you? How cool would that be? You know, pressure is actually a really good thing. If it weren't for pressure, a caterpillar could never bust out of a cocoon. If it weren't for pressure, a baby could not make its way through the birth canal. Pressure is a good thing. In fact, did you know it's called the Yerkes-Dodson law? And what Yerkes-Dodson law says is pressure, a certain amount of pressure is required to have peak performance. If you have no pressure to do it, you can't perform your best because there's no reason to. If you have enough pressure where it's like, no, you have to achieve this in order for you to get that bonus, in order for you to get that raise, in order for you to get that win, in order for you to get that next step, then great. You'll likely perform at a certain level of pressure. If there's too much pressure, you will black out. Like you can't have too much pressure because then your performance is weakened. But pressure is actually required in order for you to be successful. And so compressor, shortening the time that someone trusts you, wants to work with you, and views you as the expert is what you want, right? That is what forever content does. That's why forever content is compressor content. And I wish that I had started creating compressor content, honestly, like what you're listening to right now. I wish I created that sooner. I was like, oh, do people still listen to podcasts? Do people still watch YouTube? Like I'll tell you right now, you can sell yourself in or out of absolutely anything. So I was selling myself, no, people don't listen to that. I didn't listen to podcasts. And if you've listened to this podcast long enough, you'll know that something about me is before my mindset shifted, before I began to think like an entrepreneur, before I got to this place I am now, I actually used to roll my eyes at people who would say, I listen to podcasts, I read books. I'd be like, do you think you're cooler? Like I remember being like, oh. And now podcasts and books have truly changed my life, like forever. My family, my clients, they have changed me. But I used to look at it and be like, no, you just think you're better. I want to watch Netflix and I don't want to learn anything else. I don't want to be exposed to anything else. I didn't put new information in my mind, and I rolled my eyes at people that did. Isn't that crazy? Isn't it crazy how that version of me was stuck and frustrated and was struggling with relationships and life and work and all these things, and like felt like she was in a cage. And like this version of me who it gets new information, like feels free as a bird, happier than ever. And the more that I know, the more I know that I don't know. And so I want to go learn it. So compressor content can do that for the people listening to your compressor content, your YouTube, your podcast. It compresses time. And that means that you get results and leads and trust sooner, right? Because that content lives on and on and on. And so the one of the things I wanted to share with you, which I thought was really cool about compressor content and about forever content, is I wanted to know, like, the people that have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, or 1 million subscribers on YouTube, what did they do? How often did they post? And what can we learn about their success stories? Of course, I went in ChatGPT and was like, give me some stats on, like, how long does an Instagram post really live? Because you know what I found is that 95% of people are spending 95% of their time only posting on social media, not using that social media for an ad. They're creating and creating for something that actually doesn't live very long. Like, could you imagine if people spent the same amount of time editing a reel as they did also creating a piece of content that could live on forever and ever and ever? Amen. How cool would that be? Now listen, organic social media matters. Don't get me wrong. It's a piece of the puzzle. But if you've got one puzzle piece and it's only posting on Instagram, you're missing out on what I like to call forever and compressor content. So I'm going to share with you some stats that I learned about people that are the most successful on YouTube and podcasts, so that you can not only go create that content, but also so that it can lead people to want to work with you. And if you missed the episode that I did very recently, it's called You Don't Sell Poison, So Stop Acting Like It. It's because someone left a not kind review on my book on Amazon. And so they said, I cannot believe it. She is selling something at the end of this book. And so I kind of went a little bit into the Bible, honestly. It was like, what does the Bible say about selling and profiting? And so go check out that episode if you haven't missed it already. But the goal with this compressor content is that at the end of the day, you're not just creating content for no reason. You're creating content to serve that guides people into a relationship with you and your business and how you can help them too. So here is why, before I share those videos and like what I've learned about people that have those really incredible audiences with compressor and forever content, I wanted to share one more thing with you that compresses time. And are you going to be shocked if I say it's ads? Ads compresses time. And there's a few reasons why, okay? The first reason is ads follow up with you, for you, right? So when you make a piece of content on Instagram that you turn into an ad, guess what? Hundreds or thousands of people can be seeing that one piece of content at the same time, right? And the best part of it is you can target the people so that the people actually seeing it are the very people that you created your business to be able to serve. How freaking cool is that? That's how you take a piece of content and can allow it to compress time for you by following up with the people most interested in what you have to offer for you. Okay. There's no human being that you can pay to follow up with 1,000 people at once, but you can pay Instagram, and Instagram can do that for you, which is pretty cool, right? So ads compress time by, number one, following up for you. Number two, you can make one post that can be used as an ad for days or months or even years. One post, one time, compressing time. So instead of you having to create a new piece of content every single day, like that's the weight that I get to lift off of my shoulders. Like Veronica is here and she is our incredible social media manager, and she spent like 3 hours making like a what was it, like a bar of the AI doll. Like how wonderful is that she could make this AI doll? And that was the first post that we had posted in 4 days. And we didn't care. I was like as happy as can be because I didn't care about posting on Instagram, because me posting on Instagram is not the only way people find me. People find me from my ads every single day. Our following grows every single day. Our impact grows every single day because we create something. And if we are going to take time to create it, we oftentimes put fuel behind it with advertising, which is really cool. So ads compress time by following up for you, by making you one piece of content that can just kill it. For a long time, I actually met with someone who is at the very top of a network marketing company yesterday, and she's had so many posts do really well. And so I was like, hey, great news. We can use that as an ad, not a boosted post, but an ad. And there's a specific way you can go about it to really maximize its impact. Ads also speed up how quickly you can test messaging and ideas. I cannot tell you how so many people, they're like, well, let me test this on Instagram and see how the messaging hits and what really engages. And yes, do that. Also, ads allows you to say, let me put this same exact carousel ad and make 3 little changes to it and put it out to these audiences and actually see which audience performs best. Because it's not, does the messaging hit? It's for which audience does that message hit the best, right? So you can customize your messaging for different audiences with your ads so that you can learn what actually works best for each individual audience, not just your entire audience broadly, which is so fun. So that's why ads compress time for you, which is really cool. So there's a few things that I love about ads and how they can compress time. And then I'll share with you about the compressor content specifically. So number 1, ads pre-qualify your audience automatically. So instead of you trying to spend weeks and manually shifting through like different lead sources, it's almost like ads act like a filter. It's like your ads are going to go out there and say, here's the message. And it's actually just going to filter in and pull through the people that are actually engaged enough to watch what you have to say and what you have to offer, right? So it's only attracting people that are a right fit with that message that you have. And so with ads, you actually get the opportunity to talk more to people who are already interested and aware of what you have to offer. Number 2 is ads scale your message 24/7. It would take you so many hours to do live videos, to do DMs, to do cold outreach, whereas an ad can truly just run on autopilot, like it's a button and it says on. And you turn that on, and then your message is getting repeated over and over and over to all the right people. Because the biggest pain point that business owners I work with have is they don't get new people every day. They feel like they're screaming into the same tube in the same room every single day. And they're like, it's the same. Susan's commenting on my post again. It's Susan and Robert. That's the only ones. It's like, how cool if new people, brand new to your world, can find you every single day. And that's what's possible with ads. So you get to collapse time and become more known and trusted more quickly. Number 3 is they accelerate decision-making. So good ads, they do not just inform your audience about what you have to offer. Really good ads nudge them and pull them towards you, right? So it showcases proof that you are great at what you do. It builds urgency, and it makes the next step feel so obvious. That is what ads are supposed to do. It's an obvious, yes, this is who I want to work with, or an obvious, I am really interested in what they have to do. That is the pain point that I have. And so the way I like to think about it is you move people with ads from curious to committed way faster. And that is ultimately what you're after, right? So your ads speed up creating that curiosity and turning it into revenue and impact and commitment with people who want to work with you. And so what I want you to do in the dream world is I want you to run ads to your compressor content. Why make the YouTube video or the podcast when you can't guarantee new people find it? I run ads every single day for my podcast on Google and Instagram and soon to be YouTube. Okay, because Veronica's going to help us make way better YouTube videos, okay? So our goal, Veronica and Robert, will tag team, and we're going to make better content so that we can be literally everywhere. My goal for you is when you listen to this podcast and you go to the Win with Paid Ads Challenge page, that give me a little bit of time, but the goal is that you open up your phone on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and you're like, there she is again. I have to join the challenge. This is hilarious. The ads girl is literally... The ads are adding up. She's everywhere. That is the goal. And that's actually what I love to create business owners like you how to do, is to be able to get people to that first step with you, which can be building that relationship, which often is through a platform like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc. Okay, so, when we think about the previous episode was all about mastery and mastering something. And if you missed it, we talked about the 10,000 hour rule. And so go back and listen to that episode if you haven't. But what's really interesting is when I was looking at, on average, how many videos does someone have to make to hit some milestones? I said YouTube, based on the data, how many videos does someone have to hit 1,000, 10,000, or 100,000 subscribers? And it said on average that someone who creates 50 to 100 videos can achieve 1,000 subscribers. And it says when they gain momentum and actually continue to optimize on what they have to offer. Now, I'm pretty sure we have somewhere around like 65 subscribers. And we are like around, as I record this video right now, so I have like 300 to 400 subscribers as I look at it right now. And what matters is, yes, that 1,000 subscribers were going to sneak up on it. And what I know about life and business and relationships and babies and playing sports is all of these things. And it's that things can change very quickly. You make one good piece of content. You see one ad on Instagram. Am I right, Veronica? You see one thing and your whole life and the trajectory of it can change very quickly. But what I love is that it's not like 20 videos in, 30 videos in, even 7 videos in. It's like you might have to make 50 to 100. Can you imagine the amount of time, energy, and effort it takes to do 100 of anything, let alone filming, editing, uploading, creating captions, creating thumbnails, all this work 100 times, and we might hit 1,000? I'm in it. I'm in it for the long game. And when you have that approach, you will be too. So let's see. So it says that 50 to 100 videos is often where you see 1,000 subscribers. 150 to 300 videos is around the 10,000 subscriber mark. And to have 100,000 subscribers, typically that is with creators that have over 1,000 videos. 1,000 videos. And that's 100,000. And 100,000, it's like big, but it's also small. Like in relation to how many people are out there and how many people are on YouTube, it's like, man, that's still tiny. 1,000 videos later. That's why when you think about mastery, it's like 1,000 ads later, 1,000 campaigns later, 1,000 videos later, 1,000 interviews later, you get really good at something. And so so imagine though, like how you could create 1,000 videos and what if that paid back every single day for the rest of your life? Because then you had so many views on your YouTube video that you were getting compensation there. And because you run ads to it, people found you, watched your content and booked what you had below. There's just so much opportunity. And so there's one other thing I thought was really interesting. It said, here are the habits of YouTubers with the most subscribers. And there were 5 main habits, 5 main things that they do that typically allows them to have those larger subscribers. All right. So number 1 is ruthless consistency. They post 2 times a week on average. Well, here's what it said. It said when they first started, dang, we might have to change our approach here. When they first started to get that momentum, they post 2 to 3 times a week on YouTube. And then once they get that momentum, they typically ease in at 1 video a week and they do not ever miss. They are training the algorithm that we are recent, we are frequent, we create good stuff, consistency with resiliency over and over and over again with ruthless consistency. So that's number 1 is just being so dang consistent. Number 2 is iterative improvement. So it says there was a study, or they study what works. Thumbnails, titles, retention graphs, and tweaks. Like, what are they doing to make the video more engaging? Our videos are about to slowly get even more engaging. The cutting, the editing, the intros, the thumbnails, all of those things are going to improve. And that iterative refinement is what leads you to the climbing of your subscribers and engagement and audience. So ruthless consistency, number 1, iterative improvement, number 2, and number 3, the long-term mindset. It says they treat YouTube like a business. And I think it's very funny that they say they treat it like a business because most people treat a business like the lottery. They're like, I put my money in, I want to be a millionaire overnight. Well, those are typically people that struggle the most with business. Now, I'll be honest, everybody has to have someone who is the one who helps them think differently about something. And I'm so grateful that I had that because, of course, like we're used to going to anywhere and paying for something or giving our time and energy and getting rewarded. Well, as a business owner, you can spend all this money on team and advertising and tech and events and all these things. And like, it's not guaranteed to come back with advertising and it's not guaranteed to come back with long form content. But when you think like a business owner, I think what they mean is simply just thinking long-term, thinking for the long haul, right? So they treat YouTube like a business and it says the top channels that exist have had posted dozens or hundreds of videos before they gained any serious traction. Number 4 is they focused on a niche and then expanded later. So most started in like technology or paid advertising or lifestyle and something specific. And then as they grew, then they can expand to more topics because they earned trust in their niche first. So that's why people, I hear it all the time. I think I heard it yesterday. Gosh, what industry was it? Health coaching. She's like, I think there's just too many out there. I think there's too many of this. And I always use this reminder of my client, Christina. I interviewed her on the podcast. She teaches speech language pathologists who like to dance how to open a business. That is so specific. And yet she messaged me yesterday and made $50,000 on her ads that spent less than 10,000. I think it was less than 5, but I'm being super safe with my stats by saying less than 10, 5 to 1 return. I think it's a 10 to 1 return because she honestly averages between an 8 to 12 to 1 return. If you think there's not enough people for you, I bet your audience isn't as specific as speech language pathologists that like to dance and sing. Okay, so there is enough people out there for you. And just because there's competition, all that means is there's demand for what you have to offer. And the great news is there's only one you. Focus on your niche. And instead of saying, I help people with their health, say, I help millennial moms overcome burnout so they can have better health. That's specific. So being specific, and I said this in a recent episode, but I want you to remember that specificity creates necessity. Saying, I help you with burnout versus if you're having to warm up your coffee 17 times a day and you're late to everything, I can help you with that. That's different than saying burnout. The specificity actually is the thing that creates that idea of necessity for what you have to offer. So focused on your niche. And then number 5 is storytelling and retention focused. I'm in a mastermind with someone who has an 8-figure business. She has 1 million followers. Her team does millions of views. It's absolutely insane. She does ads for Land Rover and big energy drink brands. It's absolutely just astounding to watch her business grow and the views that she gets. And she's the best storyteller. She opens a loop, then opens a loop, then opens a loop. You literally have to watch. She has created a formula of saying, how can you create attention and maintain that attention? And so that is what the absolute best of the best with the greatest subscribers do, is they open a loop, open a loop, open a loop, and you can't help but want to watch. And one of my clients and friends, she actually spoke at my summit 2 years ago. And she has over 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. She gets great revenue, from my understanding, from the ads on her YouTube channel even that run. And one thing I asked her, I was like, what's a tip that you have for people that do really, really good on YouTube? And she said, you always know what you're posting next. And so she would end a video and say, and then I am going to explain that on the next episode. So here I am. I'm going to test it out. Are you ready? So on the next episode of the Marketing Matters podcast is you're going to get to meet someone. And she actually worked behind the scenes for Tony Robbins, Amy Porterfield, Russell Brunson, Jeff Walker, and some of the biggest names in the industry. She was behind the scenes at Funnel Hacking Live. She was behind the scenes as Amy Porterfield launched her best-selling book. So this person has all this experience of putting on events, and she actually helped me behind the scenes in my event. And I truly believe it is one of the contributing factors to having a over 7-figure day in the business and total sales. And so I cannot wait for you to meet her on the next episode. Now, she is winning with paid ads, and you can too, which is why you should join the Win with Paid Ads Challenge. So click the link below this YouTube or this podcast, or go to ashleybrock.com/challenge. Get in the VIP room. It will sell out. The person you're about to meet, she is winning with ads, and I cannot wait for you to hear her story. So click the link below, get the challenge ticket, and I cannot wait to see you on the next episode.